everybody, this is the Vikstrand. So, after a few kind of rough years for good old Pixar, they decided to do something that was really good. They made the movie Coco. The movie Coco, since they've done that, they have not done a better movie. The best movie they have done of all time, Inside Out. The second best movie, this one. Why is that the case? Why is this movie so freaking awesome? That's what we're gonna find out today. This is my review of Coco. Coco begins by them telling the backstory of the family that we're going to follow in this movie, both the living and the dead. And it is told in the most magnificent and the most smart way ever, apart of course from Up, but there is no movie in the history ever, except maybe for Desperado, that has a better opening than Up. Anyway, so there was this man who wanted to pursue a life of music, and he left his wife and daughter and vanished and abandoned them, and this made the mother resent everything that had to do with music and instead focusing on work. And generations later, the daughter is now the very old and crusty Coco, who still sort of thinks that daddy is coming home, but you know, her mind isn't all there. The thing is that they have abandoned all form of music, and they hate music, but they love making shoes. They are the designated shoemaker of this very quaint and nice little Mexican town. The thing is that the youngest of the bunch, Miguel, he loves music. He cannot help it. He just want to perform. He has actually a guitar. I wonder where he got that, by the way. And he also adores the national hero and local music legend Ernesto de la Cruz, who is buried there. That will be important later. So the Day of the Dead approaches. It is when, you know, the spirits of the old family crosses over and, you know, stuff like that. I didn't know that much about the costume of Day of the Dead and the you know, ancestor things until I saw this movie. I think it is probably culturally accurate, and I think I learned a lot from it, or maybe I didn't. Anyway, after a classical bust-up with the family when they finds out that he loves music and his guitar gets smashed because there is a battle of the bands going on, he needs a guitar. So he breaks into Ernesto's tomb and he steals his guitar. Because it turns out that Ernesto de la Cruz is actually his great-grandfather. So he's just gonna borrow it for a little bit. But when he plays it, he turns into something that is part living, part dead, and he's now inside of the land of the dead. Now, it is not a big thing for him to, you know, crosses back into the land of the living. The problem is that he meets up with his ancestors, and the condition for sending him back into the land of the living is that he gives up all his dreams of, you know, making music, because, you know, ancestors hold fucking grudges. He refuses, so he escapes his still music-hating ancestors and comes across Hector. Hector is a guy who has been trying to cross the bridges unto the living for years, but since his picture isn't hanging you know, on the wall of offering, which is a demand for being able to cross over, he cannot do that, and he's willing to do just about anything to get across. He seems very untrustworthy and always seems to have some kind of a scheme going on all the time. The thing is that because he knows Ernesto de la Cruz, Miguel you know, tells him that I will put your name on, you know, an offering so you can cross the bridge if you bring me to Ernesto de la Cruz, because he can send me back to you know, the land of the living, and he will not say that I have to give up music. So they try to help each other, and the movie just takes off from there. Now, there is just so much to love about this movie. Where to even begin? Starts raining. The voice acting is great. The creativity is so enormous. It's endless amounts of small visual gags, small little details. One thing I noticed when I rewatched this movie is the fact that he's trying to hide the fact that he's, you know, seeing all these De La Cruz videos and stuff like that, which he has on his VHS tapes, which he has labeled Best of Lucha. No one in his family is going to check out Best of Lucha. So even if they would find his little, you know, music cave, they would not suspect that Ernesto de la Cruz are on these videotapes. The character designs are just flawless. The style with this Art Deco things is absolutely fantastic, and the endless amounts of creativity they have in this one is fantastic. The comedy works. The emotional sequences, they work as hell. It is very difficult to keep an eye dry in this movie. Jesus Christ, that ending is so amazing. And the characters are so likable, and the characters have so many different motivations, and Pixar even pulled off the Herculean task of actually getting a movie with a villain that actually worked. It's not an easy thing to do for Pixar. Usually they work best without a villain, or if they have a villain, it doesn't work. So in this case, it actually benefited the story. This is a movie where just about everything works. They even were able to make the song and dance numbers function, an almost unheard of thing in an animated movie. This is one of my most favorite animated movies of all time. It is one of these movies where you think to yourself, man, I just want this movie to go on, because there's just so much more things to explore in this movie, and they're able to explore so much stuff, and you're not entirely sure what everybody's motivation is here, and where things is going to go. Is Ernesto going to accept Miguel as his grandson, and why does Hector want to, you know, cross that bridge? Is it because of some selfish reason, or does he have some kind of hidden agenda, or is there something more human to his desire to cross that thing? And there's just so many things they're able to make fit in this movie. As I said in my intro on the wall, this is the second best movie they have done. This is everything that Pixar should be. They have creativity, they have heart, they have laughter, they have likable characters, they have fantastic character design. They even made these spiritual animal things that whose other design make them look like they don't belong there, at the same time as they actually make them even more look like they belong there, because of how odd and how unworldly they look. I love just about everything about this movie. There's small glitches here and there, and there's small things that they could have explored more, in my opinion, but it's just one of these movies that works on almost every level, and it's so much fun to actually get to see when Pixar does something that is absolutely almost 100% right. I kind of wished also this movie would have been made originally in Spanish, because it would have made the movie feel a bit more authentic. Sure, there is a possibility of dubbing this thing in Spanish, but it still would have been fun if they would have made this movie with the original voice cast done in Spanish. But a little bit too much to ask for when it comes to Pixar, I guess, but still, this is one hell of a movie, and if you've never seen this movie, do see it. This movie bags a very, very comfortable 94 points. I love this movie so much. All the small details and all the small cameos and all the small little weird wacky things that they do just works on so many levels. And as I said, the endless amount of creativity in this movie made me actually a little jealous. My God, why can't I be as creative as they are? Jesus Christ, this movie is so great. So which one is your favorite when it comes to the Pixar movies? Comment below, and I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.